Welcome to the Explainer. Look, if you're a notary in the great state of Michigan, we don't need to tell you how vital your role is. You're out there preventing fraud, verifying identities, and basically keeping the wheels of business and law turning smoothly. But today we're focusing entirely on you and your credential. We're going to make absolutely sure you can seamlessly continue your journey as a Michigan notary without ever letting that commission expire. Let's get right into it.
Are you looking to continue your journey as a notary in Michigan? Don't let your commission expire. In this explainer, we'll guide you step by step through the entire renewal process, ensuring you're never without your notary seal. I absolutely love this because we've taken what can honestly feel like a daunting, kind of annoying bureaucratic chore, and we've transformed it into the ultimate, easy-to-follow blueprint.
So here is our roadmap for today. We'll quickly hit the renewal timeline, walk through the step-by-step process, understand the fees, talk about your required versus recommended toolkit, tackle some frequently asked questions, and then wrap it all up with a conclusion. Easy enough, right? Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1, the renewal timeline. We've got to start with a reality check and just bust a massive myth right out of the gate. In Michigan, there are absolutely no grace periods and zero automatic renewals. The state treats your commission expiration as a hard absolute limit. If your commission lapses, even by a single day, you are strictly prohibited from performing any notarial acts. And worse, if it does expire, you literally have to start the entire application process all over again, just like a brand new first-time applicant. So yeah, you simply cannot afford to miss this deadline. So how do we avoid that nightmare? The answer is 60. This number right here is your golden window. The state strongly advises that you kick off the renewal process exactly 60 days before your active commission expires. Having that 60-day head start gives you plenty of breathing room to navigate the multi-tiered verifications at both the county and state levels. It guarantees you won't experience a single day of downtime. To find that exact deadline, you kind of need to wrap your head around the quirky math Michigan uses. Every single notary commission in the state is systematically designed to expire on your birthday, period. If your commission is approved before your birthday in a given year, your term will be 6 years from your birthday. Now, if you are appointed after your birthday, you actually get a 7-year term. But either way, mark your birthday on that 6th or 7th year. That is your hard deadline. All right, moving on to Section 2, the step-by-step renewal process. Because you're dealing with both local and state governments here, coordination is key. Let's take a hypothetical returning notary. We'll call her Sarah from Grand Rapids. First off, Sarah has to verify that she still meets the strict baseline qualifications. She's got to be at least 18, a U.S. citizen, or have proof of legal presence, and a Michigan resident. Or, at the very least, she needs to maintain a principal place of business in the county she's applying in. She must be able to read and write English, have no felony convictions in the past 10 years, and absolutely no pattern of Notary Act misdemeanors. The really good news here, Michigan doesn't require any new exams or training courses to renew. You just need to read the current laws and meet these specific criteria.
Once Sarah confirms she's good to go, she follows this exact 4-step sequence. Step 1, she gets a $10,000 surety bond from a licensed agency. And hey, it is absolutely critical that the name on her bond matches her planned commission name and signature style perfectly. Oh, and a quick side note, if you happen to be a licensed attorney in good standing with the State Bar of Michigan, you're actually exempt from this bond requirement. Pretty cool. Anyway, Step 2, she completes the renewal application. Step 3, Sarah takes that bond and the application, in person, down to her county clerk. They file the bond, administer her oath of office, and stamp the application. Finally, Step 4, she submits that newly stamped application to the Michigan Department of State.
Now for that final step, Sarah actually has a choice to make, and the processing times are literally night and day. If Sarah decided to mail in her physical application, she'd be looking at a 4 to 6 week waiting period. That's a huge risk for a lapse. But by using the Secretary of State's online portal to upload her county-certified application, it was prioritized and processed in under a day. We highly recommend using the online portal to make absolutely sure your commission doesn't lapse while it's just sitting in some mailroom.
Which brings us to Section 3, understanding the fees. Where exactly is your money going? Renewing your commission is actually really affordable, usually totaling between $70 and $80. But, and this is a big but, you need to know that these are entirely separate transactions paid to 3 different entities. You can't just write one check for the whole shebang. First, you'll pay roughly $50 to $100 directly to a bonding agency for your 6 to 7 year surety bond. Second, when you visit your local county clerk to take your oath, you're going to pay a county filing fee. That's usually between $10 and $20 depending on your county.
Finally, you pay a non-refundable $10 processing fee directly to the state of Michigan when you submit your final application. Just keep those separate.
All right, Section 4. Let's talk about your required versus recommended toolkit.
It's incredibly important to understand the difference between what Michigan legally demands and what is just plain smart business practice. The state absolutely requires that $10,000 surety bond, but here's the catch. That bond exists solely to protect the public from any mistakes you might make. If the bond pays out, the bonding company can actually come right after you for reimbursement. Yikes, right? That is exactly why it is highly recommended to invest in errors and omissions, or E&O, insurance. That protects you, the notary, by paying for your legal fees and damages if you're ever sued. Also, while Michigan doesn't legally force you to use an official notary stamp or keep a record journal for traditional notarizations, practically speaking, you need them. A stamp ensures your documents are accepted without question, and a journal provides a paper trail to protect you if a notarization is ever challenged in court down the line.
Moving right along to Section 5, let's tackle some frequently asked questions. This first one is a massive pitfall. What happens if you move, get married, or change your business address during your 6 or 7-year term? Life happens, right? Well, whatever you do, do not wait until your renewal to update this information. You must immediately notify the Office of the Great Seal of any changes. You'll use a specific document called the Request for Duplicate/Notice of Change form. And the best part? Filing this form is totally free. Keeping your address and name perfectly synced with the state's records ensures you are always operating legally and you won't face any weird hurdles when it does come time to renew.
Here's another highly relevant question for modern notaries. How do I renew if I want to perform electronic or remote online notarizations? You know, RON. Interestingly enough, Michigan doesn't actually issue a separate RON commission. Instead, you first have to have an active traditional Michigan Notary Commission. Once you've got that, you contract with a state-approved electronic notarization platform. Then, actually, remember that notice of change form we just talked about? Use that same form to notify the state of your chosen vendor. But keep in mind, if you go this route, there are very strict rules. Unlike traditional notarizations, if you perform remote ones, you are mandated by law to keep a secure electronic journal. Plus, you have to retain the audio-visual recordings of those remote sessions for at least 10 years.
Okay, we've made it to Section 6, Final Steps and Conclusion.
Let's recap the absolutely critical, actionable tips for a smooth renewal. First, go set a calendar reminder right now to start this process exactly 60 days before your birthday and your expiration year. Second, secure your bond early and make absolutely sure your commission name matches your bond and your signature perfectly. Third, remember the required sequence. You have to visit the county clerk for your oath before you can submit anything to the state. And finally, be patient. Even if you've submitted all your paperwork, do not notarize anything under your new term until you have received your new physical or emailed certificate from the state and your status is officially marked as active. And as we wrap up, please note, this explainer provides general information only. For personalized guidance or any legal concerns, please consult the appropriate state agency or a professional notary association.
I really hope this structured breakdown has empowered you to tackle your renewal with total confidence. But now, I want to hear from you. What was the biggest hurdle you faced during your last Michigan Notary renewal? Did you run into issues at the county clerk? Maybe you had to scramble at the last minute. Drop your stories and your questions in the comments below. I would absolutely love to read them. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today on The Explainer, and happy notarizing.